देखो कितना सुंदर है।
बच्चा लोग का ड्राइंग है।
वही ना देखो।
By my own self-doubt. I'm holding daily. You're the morning. Jezebel is waiting. Did I bring myself?
On the 2nd of December in PATNA, we process the values of this constitution, and we believe that we will pledge ourselves to it, and we pledge ourselves to it. I am completely sure.
I see her standing at the back of the room. She says she wants me and she'll take my pain away. But I won't see the light of day. Held captive in a digital prison. She's holding my hand while my soul is going missing.
Thank you all very much for bearing with my virtual presence.
और एक और कोई गए थे।
And hence equality. It's an everyday struggle. Okay, it's an everyday struggle. Every single day you discover a new thing that you're doing. So a self-reflective, a continuously self-reflective life is what we are looking at when we talk about justice. Once we start doing that, we become so sensitive to the issues around that solidarities are easy to construct. And those are the solidarities which we need to cultivate in the long run. It grows over a period of time, just like indifference. So when we are sensitive, we brew solidarities, we are able to brew solidarities that can empower those professional social activists who will then be able to make a difference. Thank you. I'll end my talk here, and I'll hope that we will have questions and discussions.
Trying to abolish the caste system. So I find it very clashing that at the same time following the tradition and abolishing the caste system is like something very opposite from each other. So is it that the caste system is just baseless, the ancient, the Vedic caste system, or it just needs to be modified?
A number of political outfits, including many of the Hindu right-wing outfits, he never called them anti-national. The Quit India movement that we often idolize, which was the largest political movement that India has seen, or one of the largest in the world, I would like to believe. actually was opposed by both the right wing and the left wing. And yet Gandhi never called them anti-national. He didn't say you guys are anti-national. He said we will talk to them. Okay, so I would say if someone is being called anti-national just because the person is opposing the government of the day, well, wrong. There's nothing else. Plain and simple wrong, full stop. They should not do it. This is not how the government itself is constituted. आपको अपनी सिविक्स किताब अगर याद है तो ध्यान दीजिए गवर्नमेंट की क्या परिभाषा है. Legislative, executive, judiciary, right? This is the restrictive. I'm not even talking about a state, population, territory. Legislative, executive, judiciary. What constitutes legislative? Is it government? All opposition MPs are in legislation. So opposition is built into the government. You can't wish it off. The government, a democratic government cannot be, imagined without opposition. So opposition, questioning, examining, calling to accountability, all of this is part of a healthy democratic political system. And to call someone anti-national because the government is being questioned is simply being anti-democratic, anti-accountability, and opposing the very institutions on which that government itself is constituted. And that reminds me of, think of something like what is happening with Palestine and Israel today. The Europeans killed millions of Jews, and then they developed the remorse, which was fine. So having developed the remorse, they thought we should gift the Jews a nation. But when did they do so? They did not do it in Europe or America, not even in Russia. They did so in Palestine. And how did Israel come into being? Through a UN resolution. The same UN which now the Prime Minister Netanyahu is questioning. Right? So we need to sort of have these long-term memories of how nation states themselves have fared. There is nothing natural about nation states. After the World War I, after the Second World War, you know how many nation states were there, and count how many are there now. So nothing could be, more dynamic an institution and changing an institution than nation. Now, justice for somebody may be injustice for others. This is the case only if you have an idea of justice which is very restrictive and which is based on privileged entitlement. So, if, for example, my mother thinks कि मैंने गलत शादी कर ली, इतना पढ़ लिख के कोई खाना बनाता है घर में, she thinks मेरे साथ अन्याय हुआ है, injustice हुआ है. Okay, now her idea of justice is wedded to, and this is not in a way, this is not a ridiculous matter. Okay, and I love my mother, as much as anyone loves their mothers. But I have to understand that her idea of justice is wedded to a regime of morality, which I don't agree with. Okay, and mine, she doesn't agree with. So the regime of morality, the more inclusive it gets, the better, the more refined we get an idea, more sustainable an idea of justice we will get. Because what my mother is unable to think for various historical reasons is that she herself has been a victim of that injustice that she now wants to perpetrate and sees as justice. Okay, so in other words, to come back to the point that I was making, that only that justice is justice which is sustainable and which is inclusive.
Good morning, beta.
Good morning,
How
Papa.
are you?
Fine, Papa.
What's going on?
पापा मुझे जाना है गोवा।
क्या? गोवा? क्यों?
मेरी फ्रेंड से जानी है।
पढ़ाई लिखाई सब तुमने छोड़ दिया है।
पापा पढ़ती हूँ।
सुनती हो? मंजू की मम्मी।
आई।
ये क्या सिखा रखा है बेटी को? हमेशा तुमने बेटी को बढ़ावा दिया है। अब देखो, ये
क्या?
गोवा जाने वाली है।
तो भेज दो।
भेज दो।
क्या दिक्कत?
बेटी साथ है, कौन इसको देखेगा वहाँ?
और मेरे सारे फ्रेंड जा रहे हैं।
सारे फ्रेंड जा रहे हैं, जहन्नुम में तुम भी जाओगी क्या?
पापा।
नो, नेवर।
भेज दीजिए ना इसे।
नहीं, खबरदार, चुप रहो एकदम। नहीं जाएगी।
चलो बेटा।
पापा
हाय बेटा, हाउ आर यू?
बहुत बढ़िया पापा। एक काम है पापा।
क्या क्या बोलो बोलो?
पापा मुझे घूमने जाना है
वेरी नाइस, वेयर?
दार्जिलिंग पापा।
वाह वाह वाह, बहुत अच्छा।
पापा कुछ पैसे, पापा कुछ पैसे चाहिए। पापा कुछ पैसे।
कितने चाहिए?
3000 पापा।
1 मिनट रुको, देखता हूँ ऊपर।
5000 रुपये।
ये लो पैसा, 4000 रुपये। खुश रहो, ये नाम ऊंचा करेगा बेटा।
कहते हैं बड़ा नाम करेगा।
कभी नहीं, बेटी आई है। जाओ घर में।
कुछ नहीं हो सकता। चलो पढ़ने जाओ, मैं किचन में जाती हूँ।
वेरी नाइस, बहुत अच्छा, वेरी नाइस। हो गया।
So, ma'am, पढ़ने में कैसी है? She's perfect, ma'am. And the thing is that she's participating in the all co-curricular activities and really. But one thing I'm very sorry about. I think Arohi told me something. Arohi, beta, can you please just I have to have a talk with her, please. Sorry, sir, that she is young, so I should not talk in front of her. But I came to know that she was not allowing her to go for the excursion.
मैम, मैंने उसे स्कूल में पढ़ने भेजा है, घूमने के लिए नहीं। मैं हमेशा उसे घुमाने ले जाता हूँ, नानी के यहाँ जाती है, दादी के यहाँ जाती है, कभी कभी पार्क भी घुमाने ले। गोवा जाने की क्या जरूरत तुमसे? क्या आप पैसा देंगी 4000?
If needed, I would love to be for her. But the thing is that, do you think that when you were so much, I really appreciate that you were so concerned about your daughter. But do you think that who is a teacher who don't have any kind of concern? Are we going to put her in this kind of the trouble with?
No trouble is
That is not there.
Trust the teachers.
This 16-year-old is not going to come back. She may enjoy a number of the family functions.
वो मेरी बेटी है, मेरा प्राइड है, उसकी सारी जिम्मेदारी मेरी है। आप सिर्फ उसे पढ़ाएं, एक अच्छा इंसान बनाएं, इससे ज्यादा की जरूरत नहीं है मुझे।
Okay, you first tell your arguments, then I have to say something. So please, whatever you have to say, I want to listen.
वो मेरा प्राइड है, मेरी जिम्मेदारी है, मुझे उसे एक अच्छी जगह भेजना है ना, बगैर किसी परेशानी के। थोड़ी भी उसके ऊपर अगर दाग लगती है, क्या आप उसे देखेगी?
अगर मैम गारंटी लेती हैं,
गारंटी दे, मैं भी दे दूंगा।
Have you finished?
Yes.
So now you have to listen to my arguments. You have said, so till I finish, you are not going to tell.
excellent study.
Are you ordering, ma'am? We
Yeah,
are just
that's
acting.
what you do.
No, we are doing acting.
We don't. We have to.
Okay. Okay, proceed.
We have to be firm, very firm from
Actually, it is interactive.
And we
Not
have
a matter
to-
of okay, now do you okay.
आपको ही फॉर्म बनाना है।
You go on. You have the chances. Sir, one thing I should tell you. If she is going in the excursion, it's not about enjoying together, but she is going to take her own responsibility. Just when you said you want to send her some good institution. Are you going to be there, Mama? Ma'am, are you going to be with her? I think she has the aim to go for the due and the serum. And there, are you going to have a flat? She will be there in the PG or in the hostel. Where she has to get ready. Why don't you allow her to have the self-confidence? If she is there with the teachers, with the teachers, she and so many girls are there and later prison. And it's a protected environment where she is going to take the decisions of her life. Why don't you allow her to be? It's not our time or the old times that whatever they told you the parents, that has to be obeyed by the child. Let the child
the decision maker. She is your daughter, but she is a separate individual. Even the bird allows that.
Very nice, ma'am. So, if this is a student who is doing this, imagine the fact that they are able to practice what it is to push back against authority. It's a very powerful thing to be doing this. We may not understand that seriousness right now because we are all used to doing it maybe as adults. But as a 15, 14-year-old student, when they are able to figure out how to deal with this, if they are able to come up with this negotiation, as sitting as the teacher, pretending to be the teacher, they learn what it is to negotiate with power. Yeah? Thank you very much. That was absolutely wonderful. Can we just try one scene with the brother? Because often, the one thing that comes up in these situations is that, like my sister or my brother used to be very supportive, is not now anymore. Because I am older.
Ma'am, why can't be that the third level, ma'am? If the parents are not convinced by the interaction of the teacher, the teacher has well said that, please sir, meet to the principal.
The principal can also.
Principal. And here, let me complete, ma'am. Let me complete. May I? So now the parents have reported and the principal, male or female,